Alright, this is Diesel Weasel. Diesel for We the People News. Not sleepy right now. However, I was sitting here going through YouTube and all that, and I cannot remember if I've seen this once before or twice before, but I have not heard this all the way through. But I did go through kind of the beginning part, and this is what's interesting to me. Okay, now we talked about several times in Texas, right? Uh, Getting any particular type of cases in your vehicle uh, is a crime in Texas. Well, the same thing with this lady saying about the criminal trespass still applies to people in Texas, right? Now, if Pigs Under Pressure ever sees this, if your state is actually criminal, you can actually fight this in the criminal defense as well. Uh, if you get a ticket of any sorts, okay? So I thought it was interesting because it kind of lines out your, the judge lines out your rights. But I want it here and for on the record. Okay, I'm not an attorney, I'm not giving legal advice. Okay, it's educational. All right, never look straight forward, always look around you, be able to protect yourself by any means necessary. But there's a couple of things that's kind of interesting here. So on here, learning how to challenge jurisdiction, it says challenge, but it's challenge jurisdiction. Okay, which we always do, people. Do not listen to some of these attorneys or majority of the attorneys about you cannot do it. You can. It's case law everywhere. There's probably more cases on this than anything else. All right, let's go ahead and go forward. Oh, what am I doing? I did it in the wrong spot. Let's go ahead and put that thumbs back up there. And just because I liked it, I already started early on the thumbs up.
This is a case that the state has filed alleging that on the 11th of May of 2020, you committed a violation of criminal trespass. Today is your arraignment. That's when you enter a plea. In a criminal case, you have constitutional rights. You have the right to have a trial. You have the right to retain an attorney if you choose to. You have the right to confront witnesses against you. You have the right to present evidence in your own behalf. And you have the right to remain silent and be presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. If convicted.
Let's stop right there. Stopped it a little soon. But right, you got a right to face your accuser. What if your accuser is Mr. or Mrs. State of Texas, people? Because officers, when they show up, they're supposed to be a witness. So Mr. or Mrs. State of Texas here, or Mr. or Mrs. Arizona over there, how you to face your accuser of this criminal offense. Okay, now the trespass, it must be some type of deal, but you see my point of everything. Okay.
You have the right to an appeal. If you are not a citizen of the United States, proven guilty or no contest to a crime may affect your immigration status. In this type of case, today at an arraignment, I would enter a plea of not guilty on your behalf.
Yeah, that's the legislature from the bench acting as an attorney of his. They can't do that. Now they do it, but they can't do it. And Fuzzy goes into he can't even plead guilty because he can't fingerprint and all that at the particular time. Okay, that don't even make sense. However, either not guilty, no contest, or innocent. I've talked about this over and over and over, right? You're presumed innocent. So the claim's already there. All right? But what they're doing before then is to go ahead and have you play not guilty, which means you're guilty, just states can't prove it. Non-contest, which you can come back on a later date and fight it. And guilty. Okay? But in a criminal case, you're presumed innocent. The claim is already there. You don't have to do any of them three. What they're doing is, since you have rights, you're innocent until proven guilty. They're making you make a claim which takes the burden of proof off the state or, yeah, well, the state, county, or city. Okay, that's what they're doing. They're transferring uh, that process. Now you got to. This is the reason why you hear some people, well, you're guilty until proven innocent. Well, yeah, because you made a claim. The burden of proof is off them once you plead no, not guilty, no contest, or guilty. Okay, you just took that away from the state because you are innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. That's what they're supposed to do, is prove you're guilty. Meanwhile, you're innocent while they're yapping. And you're sitting here giving them all kinds of information. And you're waiving all kinds of rights you don't even know about.
Well, hold on, ma'am. I mean, I would like to have a little details on this case and hear who the alleged victim is on this case, because what if I just want to plead guilty right now? I don't even know what this case entails at all.
So because we're virtual, there's no way to plead guilty today because it requires fingerprints, so I would have to give you another court date. I'm going to make sure the state provides you the information you're asking. They have a couple of ways they can do it. They can do it by email if you want it electronically. If you want a hard copy, they can mail it if you'll provide an address to them. Do you have a preference?
I would definitely like a hard copy, and also, can we reschedule the arraignment in case I choose guilty?
It's not, because of the situation with the pandemic, you are not able to plead guilty. You would be at a later date, but that's why the arraignment will be reset to a case management conference. You're going to be given.
That right there is violating due process of the criminal thing. If you have a right to plead guilty, and she's telling you you can't because of whatever reason, it don't really matter. All these other things does not violate the due process. Period.
If you need time, so there's not going to be any hurry that you have to plead either guilty to the charge or not.
Well, ma'am, I mean, I don't want somebody putting in a not guilty plea for me if this may be something I'm guilty of. So I believe that's a violation of due process.
Okay, you have the right to file a motion if you choose to. Your case will be reset with Judge Cornejo. How is the 5th of October?
The 5th of October, I'm actually going to be in Phoenix working. Can we go another week out or so? I'm going to be working until the 9th in Phoenix.
That's the latest she provides. I can give you October 1st if you want to go not as far.
No, we'll do October 5th. I'll try and work the weekends until then and see if I can get home.
And Judge Cornejo has 9:30 available. Does that work for you?
9:30 a.m. Cornejo.
And I will provide the Zoom ID. I can put it on your paperwork. I can also tell you what it is if that's easier.
No, go ahead and put it on the...
Let's step this up a notch because it just came in my head, right? So we know that the judges save time, particular times to be in there, right? But sometimes it's 4 or 5 hours later and all that kind of stuff. So when we go do that, it may not hurt. Well, Your Honor, here and on for the record, I'm going to go ahead and accept the offer of 9 o'clock, no later than 9. Anything after that is costing me time and energy, and I'm willing to negotiate about $5,000 per hour that has been delayed due to my loss. Right? She made an agreement. Them two right there are having meetings of the minds. They're discussing of terms. Okay? It's a form of contract. It's a verbal contract. All right? They're back and forth. They're agreeing. They have meetings of the minds. Okay? So sit and think about these things as well when these things come up. When the judges are talking and you're sitting there going back and forth trying to work out some type of deal. What is a plea deal? It's a contract. You come to some type of agreement, some type of terms. Most of the time, you're under duress and they force you in it. But when you sign it, you sign the contract. It tells you on the contract you cannot come back after them. You waive all your rights. If you read it, there's a bunch of things you waived by signing that contract. Well, because it's a contract. All right. So understand when these things are going on, the here and now, at the present, however you want to say it, they're negotiating right now. So let's extend this meeting of the minds is pick it out, right? So she says 9 o'clock, and he says he's going to be at work at 12 o'clock. Well, it can't be until 12 o'clock because you made an agreement with another one before this one. So anything after 9 o'clock, I'll go ahead and accept your offer at 9 o'clock, providing it's on 9 o'clock. $5,000 per hour. I'm late doing my time and energy and taking the chance of being late for my work and the cause and effect of the actions of your delay. I'm just saying, I'm not an attorney, not giving legal advice, but what is it going to hurt? We don't do these things. We don't negotiate, right? I've talked about this before, right? I'm going to hold you in contempt of court. Is it civil or criminal? Civil is contract. Civil is some type of form agreements. AMRAM contract, stuff like that. Well, okay, so I'm going to go ahead and accept your offer, $5,000 per minute I'm in your custody. All right? It gives the judge something to think about, like, ooh, ah. It's going to be for hearing on the record. I agree to your terms. Okay? Criminal, obviously that's different. Well, you need to sign an affidavit under penalty of perjury. You cannot be the judge of your own case that caused you harm, and it needs to be specific in your affidavit of what harm or loss or damages have you received from I, a man, not a person. Okay, I, a man, one of the people.
Paperwork, I'm actually at work. I'm lacking on things to write with, ma'am.
I'm gonna make sure it's written on your minute entry from the court. In addition, we're gonna mail you a Zoom notice, and you are able to appear just like you did today on the phone, or you can use video, whatever is better for you.
Am I going to be able to, how are we going to do social distancing with a jury of my peers? I don't get how that's going to work.
At this point, there are no trials by jury happening. Everything is on hold. The Supreme Court has decided that there are no speedy trial rights right now due to the pandemic.
So I don't have the...
Yeah, sit there and think about that as well. Even in a pandemic, you don't get to waive your rights, and they cannot force your due process. So you do, in fact, they have to accommodate it somehow, some shape, some form. Just because something's going on in the wide world, your due process does not end. It does not stop. It's not in pause. If that's the case, you're in martial law. So they might as well just say, well, we're enacted martial law. So these things are, then you have to go under the martial law of, what is it? Uniform codes of Army martial law. Okay, you have to go into that category. All right, well, I'm going to end it here because it was interesting how you got this right, this right, this right, this right. All right, go ahead and turn around and make your plea. Well, I'm going to plead for you. All right, this is We the People News. Bye, y'all.